Hi, it's Nell, and today I'm going to show you how to make a dish garden two ways. One in a low bowl, and the other in a covered jar. And this is the fine assortment of cute little 2-inch plants that I have to use. Well, you know how crazy stuff happens sometimes. This was going to be a dish garden two ways, but it's only one way because this beautiful glass jar had a little crack here, and I was trying to get some of the rock out, and it totally cracked. So it's gonna be one way. It's life. I got these from the grower, and in 2-inch pots they're grown for dish gardens. And the assortment here is a variegated creeping fig. This is a type of baby tears. Neanthobella palm. Spathiphyllum. Of course, the English ivy. And this I am 90% sure is a Dieffenbachia and not an Aglaonema. I'm going to start on the dish first, and as you can see I have some rock put in here. It's really shallow, so I didn't put too much. And what the rock does, it just kind of helps with the drainage. It keeps the roots up above the water if it collects in the bottom. And what you can also do is put a layer of charcoal in the bottom too, because that will sweeten it up. That's what charcoal is used for, in case it gets kind of wet and starts to smell. Putting a very thin layer of potting soil on. I'm not going to put too much because the dish is just about as deep as a grow pot is. Now I've laid out the plants that I'm going to use in here. And dish gardens generally aren't meant to go on forever and ever because these plants each get quite large on their own, so they will outgrow this dish. But it should last for a year or two, and I've left a little space here because I think I want to put something decorative in the front. That's why I have that. And I have a little variegation balanced out here, something to trail in the front here, and then I have the larger leafed plants in the back. But there's no real rhyme or reason to do it. It's just how it is pleasing to you and what plant you want to use. I have already done a video on planting a cactus garden, so I will leave the link below and in the post so that you can see that. Okay, so I've removed a couple of dead leaves off this spath, and you just press gently and take it out of the pot. And as you can see, it already has a good root system on it. And I just sort of gently squeeze, so a little bit of the soil falls out, and it sits just about at the level there. Now I'm going to go around and do the same thing to all the other plants. Gardening is like cooking. Sometimes you have a vision or an idea of something you want to make, but then when you make it, you're like, don't quite like this. It's like when you cook and you need to add a spice or you need to add something to it, you need to do a little altering. So I don't like this space here, so I'm going to move this Spathiphyllum down. And I think I'm going to, I just really like the variegated foliage. That's me. The other thing is, if you liked things more solid, it's because these greens are all pretty similar, I think. I'm going to push this down here. I'm going to add this back in here, and the little Dieffenbachia will stay there. But I just wanted to show you these plants on the edge. I kind of angled them out a bit rather than have them all upright. And you can see in this one back here, I have it at a slight angle. I'm not pointing it out there, but just at a bit of an angle, so it gets a little bit of growth coming this way. And I'm going to do my alterations, and then I'm going to come back and show you the finished product. At this point, everybody's in the pool, and I'm much happier with how it looks. Now I went and filled in with potting soil, but first I put worm castings around so everything got its nourishing, and I just kind of tamped these little plants down just a little bit to get them in there. And at this point, I would water it. And you want to either give it a good spray, and that's the way you could water it if you have the patience to do that, or just use a small watering can or just water in very, very gently. I'm not going to water this in because I'm going to take it right apart because I need this bowl for something else, but I just wanted to show you. And now I'm going to top dress it because I want a little something on it. And I think I'm going to use these here. I have all kinds of decorative rock. You could use a decorative rock and whatever color you wanted to, just a gravel. There's polished rocks too. Or you could just have the soil showing, and that would be fine because actually these creeping plants will fill in no time. This just adds a little sparkle around. I've got these in a brown amber color too, and that's really pretty. But I decided the green, just to go with the green theme. My dish garden is complete. I added those polished rocks, and then these are some, I call them wacky sea sticks. It comes attached in on the kelp and they dry beautifully. So I added those in for a little bit of interest into my garden. And if you wanted to do something playful, you could add a little frog in there just for a little bit of whimsy, and maybe a dragonfly up. But back here, he could just clip right on there if you wanted to have a little bit of adornment to your garden. And I got this beautiful footed glass dish at Marshall's, by the way, for $6.99. So you can keep your eye open for some deals if you want one of your own. Now, the grower where I got these, in his greenhouse, they make hundreds and thousands of dish gardens to sell in grocery stores and in retail nurseries, and they use a lot of color in theirs too. They use kalanchoes, they use African violets, they use begonias, all very tiny. They use the pink polka dot plant and the red polka dot plant too to bring in some color. So if you wanted some color in your dish garden, you could certainly do some of that. And if you were having a wedding or a garden party, you could do an idea like this, but you could use annuals, flowering annuals, and it just is a little bit more sturdy if you're having an outdoor party, if the wind comes up or something. And it's a nice alternative to flowers. And in terms of light exposure, these would all take medium light, that they'd be great in nice bright light. The darkness is not going to bring out the variegation in plants. So if you're making it for yourself or giving it as a gift, just make sure that it gets enough light. So I hope I have inspired you to make a dish garden of your own. And please subscribe because I have a lot more videos coming your way. Now let's get gardening and make the world a more beautiful place. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.